racing immediately. But a champion becomes a legend. KEVVY wins it again.
Yes, yes, yes. Wins the Everest. Glenn Boss wins another big one.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Who's the Boss, and not only another episode, but our very last for the season, Bossy.
Who would have thought?
I know. We survived. I've got to say, you've had a bit of sun. You're looking good.
I'm looking a bit tan, don't I?
You're looking great.
The Gold Coast weather.
Woohoo!
I got the golfer's tan.
Well, I just don't tan, so I've got tan in the can. So good on you. Good on you. You're looking great, Bossy. A big show coming up today, but again, another huge week of racing. James McDonald via Sistina, take a bow.
Take a bow. And what a way to bring up your ton of Group 1 wins. I was there on the day. I was down in the enclosure watching it live. And we honestly, it was when she went past the line, there was this, it was noisy, but there was this kind of disbelief what we just seen. The whole crowd just was like, whoa, what happened then? Just to see her put 8 lengths on them in that shorter space of time was incredible.
And obviously the lead up as well hadn't been perfect for Team Via Sistina and Chris Waller and James McDonald. But to not only see her win in such convincing style, a course record in front of that crowd, James McDonald's 100th, it was just, for want of a better term, fairy tale. It was incredible. Yeah,
you couldn't have scripted this stuff.
Yeah.
But we spoke about this, you know, with her, that thing, that mishap on Tuesday. That was nothing. We covered that pretty well. It was basically nothing. But it just to see her turn up in that form, surprised they're not going towards the Melbourne Cup.
I wanted to ask you about that. What's your take? Because we've found out they're not going in that direction now.
No, I'm surprised. I spoke to Chris on Sunday and said, I don't think I've seen a better trial going into a Melbourne Cup. And he agreed. Obviously, I mean, there's other factors involved. They probably just don't want to test her over that distance at this point of her, you know, she's probably never going to go there. If they're not going to do it now, they're never going to do it.
Right.
And there's some other big races that she can run in. So, but geez, I tell you what a character. The way she went through the line for mine with 56 kilos in the Melbourne Cup, it'd be a no-brainer. But anyway, that's what they've decided.
And have you touched base with J-Mac since the big day?
Yeah, spoke to him on Sunday. Ecstatic, obviously. He was, it was crazy. He said he went to bed really early that night because he was just gone. He was just drained by the moment. So, but you know, just you could tell in his voice to get the 100 in that sort of fashion and the week that it was. You know, what a proud moment for the young man. He's 32 and like he's done this a decade in front of anyone else. This is just an amazing achievement.
Isn't it phenomenal? Because Huey Bowman was 41, Pumper was 50 when he got his ton. I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy.
Oh, it's already there. It's just, you know, he's already superseding everyone. Like I said, I mean, I've spoken about him. I love talking about him. He's going to be the one that breaks all the records. And I think the records that he breaks will stand for a long time. That's how good he is. So, but, you know, evolution of sport, someone will come along later on and probably break his records as well.
Well, we're lucky that we even got to witness it. It was just a brilliant day of racing all round. We're also lucky that we get to tell those that are listening or watching about our friends at AirTouch, because you and I are both big fans of AirTouch, the ultimate smart air conditioning controller for your home or business. Bossy, it's the time of year where you need a bit of AirTouch.
Oh my God, we're in we're about 32 today on the Gold Coast. Yeah, really hot day. So it's pumping at the moment. But in here, it's like you wouldn't even know. It's beautiful inside, thanks to AirTouch, because it doesn't, you know, I can be, like I said, I can be at golf sweating all day and drive home going, boop, 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 as I do on my phone, walk in the house and it is beautiful.
Boop, 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 boop. With its energy-saving features, AirTouch helps you reduce your power bills while keeping everyone comfortable. It is like having climate control in the palm of your hand. If you want more details, head to airtouch.net.au. And if you want to watch more episodes throughout the first season of Who's the Boss, you can track us down at Who's the Boss Pod. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. We're also on YouTube. Obviously, you can watch us. You can listen to us. Don't let us go. Keep us in your life.
This has been number 10. This will be number 10.
I know.
Have you enjoyed it?
It's been so fun. I've absolutely loved it, and I've loved that people have loved it as well. The feedback has been great. People have been reaching out, and what a privilege it's been to just have the awesome guests that we've had along the way.
Yeah, and we can just keep going that direction now. But I'm looking forward to season 2. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun, Snooky. It's been really a privilege, to be very honest, to sit down with these wonderful sportsmen and women. And just let them spin their yarns, you know, and go somewhere which I never thought we could go. Hearing stories that I thought I'd never hear. So it's been an absolute privilege for me, and it's been great to work with you too.
Likewise, Mr. Boss. So what better way to go out than with today's guest? Look, he was dubbed the Raging Bull, but I think he's just a big teddy bear at the end of the day.
He is a big teddy bear, so protective of his unit around him. The Raging Bull, Gorden Tallis, he's such a beautiful human being. Like, he's got this perception of people only seeing him on the footy field of what he's like, because yes, he was a different beast. As soon as he put laced the boots on and stepped over the line, he was a completely different beast. He knew his job and he knew his role. But away from that, like you said, he's the biggest teddy bear, and very, very intelligent guy, smart.
He's a smart guy. He's a cheeky guy. He's a fun-loving guy. We hope you enjoy this episode of Who's the Boss with Gorden Tallis. Well, our next guest on Who's the Boss is an Australian Rugby League Hall of Famer, number 104 to be exact. He's a Queenslander through and through. He's captain his country, he's captain his state, and his beloved Brisbane Broncos, of course. He is known as the Raging Bull. He is a real big teddy bear, though, at the end of the day. Gorden Tallis, welcome to Who's the Boss?
How you going, Snook?
Big Gordie.
Nice to see you.
How are you, brother?
I'm good.
Good to see you, my man.
Don't go all shy and coy.
No, we got the same taste in jeans, Bossy.
We do.
Except he goes to the kids section.
Yeah, I do. At Lowe's.
Hey, mate, I might need that again soon.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You remember those ads, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Oh, they were good.
Well, the best one I ever did was when Bill Harrigan was doing it.
Yeah.
And we're up in Queensland, I think at Steve Irwin's farm, just at the back.
Yeah.
And I had to slap him, and it's sort of like the mozzies were around. It took me about 38 takes.
Yeah.
I just like slapping Bill. I just slapped Bill about
Something
30
about
times, yeah.
Something about umpires, you just
Yeah,
had to
there you
slap
go.
him around a bit.
Well, thanks for
Well,
joining
mate, you know,
us.
with the stewards, you don't get on with the stewards, do you, all the
Well,
time?
not all the time, no.
There you go.
No.
Not all the time.
Well, thank you for joining us in our humble little home here, our new little studio.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
good, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know.
it's actually really nice.
It's like you're in my house. Well, our house.
Our house.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, it is. Comfy lounge.
It's a great lounge.
Have a chat.
Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Bossy likes to pour a drink, but you've already started.
Yeah,
Well,
it is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well,
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
you know you got to have a beer out of the
I know.
cups.
See, listen, I did a lunch with Bossy, and I'm thinking, God, it's really cool. I'm with Bossy, and he can't bring the horse in. So
No.
I've got him, and he pulls out his Melbourne Cups.
Bring the horse in.
You can't drink out of a premiership ring, but you can drink out of those.
Well, that's what
because-
we're going to do, Gordie, right
Let's
now.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. These hold liquor quite well too. Are you on? You're
There's
on the
something that I
beer.
prepared a little bit earlier. There you go.
That's weird. That's not like you at all. How are you, Gordie?
No, I'm fantastic. Obviously, footy season's just finished. Time with the family. Got a young and old family, so that's really cool. And footy season was great, predictable. 2 heavyweights at the end, went at it. And now it's time to back some slow horses and get the yard ready for summer.
Remind you of Broncos days. Penrith keep doing what they're doing.
No, they're well. I was lucky that. Thank you so much. Cheers. Wow.
Cheers and welcome to Who's the
Thank you.
Boss.
Cheers, brother. Good on you. Oops, sorry, it's not.
Don't forget me,
No,
just
forget
because
you. Sorry,
Gordie's in the
darling.
house.
Tony Danza, who's the boss? No, Bossy on Penrith. So the Nat debate's been out there, and
Yeah.
you know, and I love when Ray Price goes, "Well, we'd beat him," because you got to think like that, right? If I'm training a racehorse, I got to think if I got the same horse, I can train it better. If not, well, you shouldn't be in the game.
Correct.
So that great Parramatta side, all the great sides, the great Raiders side, they should be thinking that and saying that they would love to play them and beat them at their
Yeah.
best. But I'm sure Mike Tyson, right? Even though I watched him sit on the couch with Muhammad Ali, right? he said he's the champ, but they would have loved in their prime to take each other on. And in our prime, I backed the sides that I played with. You know what I mean? Like if I spoke about, I had Glenn Lazarus, Shane Webke and Petro Sivana in the front row. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I had Brad Thorne beside me. I'm happy with that. I had Tony Carroll at lock.
Yeah.
I had KEVVY and Alf. I'm happy with that.
Mate.
Then I had
And
Darren.
Big Del.
Oh God, I had Darren Lockyer at fullback. God, I'd like to replace him, the next immortal. And Wendell, yeah, like to get rid of him because he talked too much. And then Lottie. So and
What a
Steve
side,
Renoff.
eh?
Yeah, and Steve. So like so like you back your teammates and you back your sort of era, but Penrith, what they're doing at the moment is unbelievable in professional era to break the records. You know, because like we didn't break them in our era, but you know it's you know, full credit. Nathan Cleary's a freak.
Talk about eras, like I remember when Gordie first came to Brisbane, obviously I was pretty entrenched with the side and I'd always go in there, you know, with Alan and watch. No, well, he
did.
Watch this bloke, like, when he first got there, it was a little bit, you know, where do I sit? But not long after we realised how he just moulded into this team. And I've never met a guy who was so kind and humble and soft, but once he stepped across the line, he was almost like the big protector of all his boys.
The raging bull.
No, honestly, no, yeah, that's me. He protected his group, but fiercely protected, weren't you?
I've got to stop doing it now.
No,
I've got to stop doing it
but
now.
but I think everyone felt safe when Gordie was out there because they knew that if there was a stink or there was something to be done or a play that had to be made, a hard play.
Mate, you could be a coach. That's a great observation because when I first got to Brisbane, I felt like I didn't fit in, right? Because
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like I was a kid. I was 15. The Broncos started. Wally Lewis, Signs, Gene Miles, Colin
15.
Scott.
That's so young, isn't it?
I was 15 15 when the Broncos first started. So I'm there and I'm in Townsville mowing the lawn and then, you know, like a Broncos hat, you know, like you ordered it and it was so big and they had the Powers Brewery. It was the biggest brand, I think, in Queensland, right? And it was all your heroes going to play and come down because there was always talk that the Brisbane comp wasn't as good as the New South Wales comp and Brisbane had a chance to come down and prove it. So then when I get there, it's a real hard side to fit in because of the style of play that I was playing at the Dragons. But once I slotted it, and the boys were great. And then they didn't have to change. I had to mould to get around those. But once you sort of started playing with them, you had to work out, you know, what each player was good at. And
who was someone that did anyone take you under their wing and say, this is how we do it around here? But here
I
to show
room
you
with
the
Lazo.
ropes? Yeah.
Big Lazo, yeah. And I thought he was arrogant, but he's just so confident in his own skin that he's one of the greatest leaders and teachers. Like, just say, like, at the end of a training session, we might be doing something and it'll be a 15-minute drill and it's really hot. And if you drop the ball, if you start walking, you've got to go again. And the dummy half will pick up the ball and he'll throw it and it won't be at Lazo's chest and he just won't catch it. And we'd all be sitting there under our breath going, catch it. Red Rooster's closing. Like, catch the ball. We want to get home. But it was the standards that he was setting for all of us.
Yeah.
Right. And then we thought it was arrogance, but he was just one of those guys. I think Glenn Lazarus is one of the greatest winners. And, you know, that was the standard. Then you had Alf, you had KEVVY, you had all these great players, but you just learned so much off all of them.
You've been chatting about KEVVY a bit lately.
Yeah, well, you got to stick up for your mate.
Mate,
Look, the only thing that pisses me off is I'm not an old boy, right? I wasn't ever an old boy. I was in Townsville when they started. I was a Dragon, right? I had to sit out a year to go play for them, so I'm not one of them. So when I have my opinion, it's a Fox Sports opinion. It's Gorden Tallis, Fox Sports paid to have an opinion. I hate it. Like when I say something about the Tigers, it's never in the paper. I say something about Parramatta, never in the papers. Manly, never in the papers. As soon as it's the Broncos, they love the headline up there. And that's the thing that really gets to me. And then KEVVY, like, I got divorced and I was sitting at home and I've told the story. I'm sitting at home and he rings me, goes, mate, Merry Christmas on Christmas Day. He goes, what are you doing? I said, oh, Mum and all that, they've gone up to Townsville to spend it with family. He goes, what are you doing? I said, oh, my wife's got the kids. She's got them for a couple of days. I pick them up the day after Boxing Day. He goes, are you at home? I said, yeah. Because my mate's never by himself. So he drove around and come and broke from his family to come and see me on Christmas Day. So when I talk about KEVVY Walters, it's not the footy player. I'm sticking up for a man that in someone's darkest times, we all talk about mental health now and all this bullshit, but in the darkest time, he just popped around and he showed me what a mate should do. So then for me just to say, he's my mate and, you know, he should have a go. You know, I think everybody should just just
But he dedicated his life to the Broncos.
33 years.
Like in heart and soul. And like, I have a very good relationship with Kev. Like, I talk to him when he wins, and I talk to him when he loses, and he wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah. Well, you've known him longer than me.
Yeah, he's an incredible human being. I only seen him last Saturday and had a beer with him, and just to see, it's hurt him. This one's really hurt him.
Our game, right? I know it's professional, right? But you got Steve Walters played for Queensland and Australia. You got, Kerrod Walters played for Queensland, Australia Broncos, and you got Kevvy. You got his mum that worked in the canning. They all played football. Like, there's 5 brothers that all played rugby league. They eat and breathe it, and you just think that sometimes a good guy can finish first, and and it's just the world,
Yep.
But like, I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great fit. I love when Manly have a Manly coach. I like Ricky at the Raiders. I think there's there's some romance in our game that you need. Like, I would love like a Parramatta legend to be coaching Parramatta. I think that there's some romance in the game. There's something special about that. If Sam Burgess ever comes back to coach South, I think there's going to be so much romance in the game.
Well, I think as a young player, if you're coming through, if you look at that person, you see the legacy they left behind, the footprint they left at that club.
Yep.
That's the sets the standard for what you aspire to do, because you want to come into the club and leave it better than what it was when you got there, and that builds up over time, obviously. But when you talk about the KEVVY, there's no one who's been more entrenched in the club than their family.
And then everybody goes, "Oh, it's just the old boys." No one says that I'm wrong with my opinion. If they tell me that I'm wrong and they want to take on my opinion, I'm happy to say that. But they say, "Oh, he's always talking." But most things I talk about, I'm pretty much right on it.
Big shoes to fill, though. Whoever
Massive.
takes the role. So regardless of who got that gig, it was always going to be a tough gig.
Well, it's a tough gig. Don't forget Wayne Bennett's been sacked there, moved on twice.
Yep.
Right. He's our greatest ever coach. And you had, I think, Ivan Henjak, Anthony Griffin, Anthony Seabolt, and now KEVVY Walters. So it is a hot seat at the moment. The Dolphins are going to be breathing down their neck. Like, when I grew up, I just spoke about when I was 15, there's only one club.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now I'm growing up in town, so I walk to dairy farmers or like Country Bank. I'm going to play for the Cowboys right now. Gorden Tallis doesn't come down to Brisbane. So that's one hurdle. And the Dolphins, so it split the city, and then the Titans are getting their act together now. Don't forget Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, Dave Fafita, Xavier Coates. They're all Gold Coast juniors that aren't playing. So one's back there, but wouldn't it be good if all those kids that started on the Gold Coast stayed on the Gold Coast, right?
Yeah.
So that's the moving target up in Brisbane. It was the biggest brand, but it's not now.
Yep.
It's still a big brand, but it's not the biggest.
Do you drink coffee?
Yeah, a shitload of it. A shitload of it.
You're going to throw that
Did you
one
like
in there.
that?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Love
As
you.
my wife goes, she goes, you have 3 coffees? I said, I know.
But fair call, though.
Well, what do you say?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Because every time I say, like, they go, oh, mate, do you want to have... No, I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, I love that.
But, like, the truth was,
I've had
right?
3 this morning,
The
but
truth
don't
was, I
drink
bumped
coffee.
into Matt. I said, no, mate, I don't drink coffee. I said, I'd rather have a beer.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him. I said, mate, I'd rather have a beer. And then the media go, oh, mate, I heard that. I said, yeah. I said, I don't
Bloody
drink coffee.
media.
But I said, I don't want a coffee. But anyway, they can run with it. It's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
I
like
do.
it. It's fun. It's
You can
cricket
get it-
season.
You can get a headline, the kid.
It's
Yeah,
cricket
yeah.
season.
Just
And
imagine
we're
if I got
talking
paid
about
per
you.
headline.
Oh, could you imagine it? But it's good though, because you've always. But even when you played, you had an opinion.
Well,
Like
I was a
and you
headline
stood
player.
by what you said,
Like,
right?
not being rude, I was a headline player, right?
Yeah.
So it's the red line. It's the Jared
right.
Hargreaves. You go out there and you talked about, I wasn't intimidating. People just got intimidated.
You
right?
never look
Like,
for
then
it.
You're not, I'm not, because if I don't get intimidated, they're not, like if someone's an intimidator and don't intimidate me, well, he's not doing a good job. So I never went out there to intimidate them, but I couldn't play with Alf's skill. I couldn't play with Lockie's skill or Joey's or that. So what I had to do was play with aggression, right? And then I was prepared to play and go out there and get hurt. And once you're prepared to do that, the bloke in front of you has to be prepared to get hurt. Does that make
Yeah, but
I mean,
no, that's exactly how you play. But you never
I didn't
ever,
look for it.
you never look for it ever.
No.
Like it, but if it was presented,
I didn't
look
away from
out.
it.
No, because it was just like woof.
Well, because
But you got to stand
that's the
your
respect.
ground.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
respect from your teammates.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like that's what the team needed, and if the team needed a centre, well, they go buy one. But
Yeah.
that's what I offered that organisation, was that person.
And how do you like the gig in the media now?
Well, when I retired, I never ever thought I'd be, everybody says that, the ugly, like every supermodel. I was so ugly at school, they did me. Because they did.
Yeah,
no one did. That's right.
No.
So I was okay at footy. You know what I mean? I was playing for Townsville.
You're all right.
No. Like then this is as a kid. Like I never played for Queensland. Like my first Queensland team was State of Origin. So I wasn't one of those guys that made all the rep teams. I made some.
Yep.
Like I'd play for Townsville. I played for North Queensland once in under 12s. Didn't make it 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s. Like,
Why was that? Is there any
because
particular
there's
reason?
better players. There was a bloke by the name of Anthony Bella, which is Marty Bella's brother. He was my bestie's dad. I think there was a Best. There was Adrian Best. There was all these great back rows. Dave Sindrick, Aaron Raddick. There's all these great kids at my age. Bolton from Cairns. They were just better players than me.
Okay.
But when I got 16, 17, and I shot up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was sort of a bit thin and I shot up and I just obviously could fill out the potential. So I wasn't one of those superstar kids. So then to have the career that I did, I thought when I'd finish, I just have a job, doing development work or something like that. So to be where I'm at now, I never ever thought that I'd be sitting where I am, have a great relationship on the Matty John show. That's 12 years I sat on that couch and had a buzz. And then now it's a different role. I sit on 360, which is it's opinion.
But I mean, it's good though. Like if you,
I found my niche.
But if you see it, you say it, right?
Well, you
No, that's what I mean. If you see it, you say it.
I'm from North Queensland, right?
That's it.
Blokes go away, they're blue collar, they work really hard. It's farming. It's always been a really hard, honest area. So I'm talking to my North Queensland counterparts. I'm talking to the bloke that goes out and works all day, that put money on the table for his family, and he comes home and he just wants the truth. Whether, mate, he don't have to, mate, he don't have to agree with me, but I just go, that's what I believe, and that's it. And that's a North Queensland thing.
Yeah,
Queensland
you're
thing.
correct, 100%. But too many people dance around the subject without actually. Like, why fuck around with it? The elephant's in the room.
You're going to get it soon, Bossy, right? See, so
No,
like,
but I mean-
you can talk about a jockey, right? And then they'll have a ride, and you go, oh God, he slaughtered that. Or I don't know how you say.
I only did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
And then we go,
call it out.
oh, Bossy, mate, and it's like, no, but you're sitting there. The punter thinks the same thing.
But when I say it comes from a honest answer, because I know what the ins and outs of it are.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll see someone do something on the field, and instantly,
I know
instinctively, you know what you've seen.
I know you had Peter Sterling on the couch because when I first started commentating, I go, oh, geez, that's a poor play. And he calls me aside, he goes, can you just change that? I said, what do you mean? He goes, just say he'd like to have that play over again.
Yeah.
So it was so he'd like to have that ride over again. He'd like to have that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that he come up with the wrong option, but say, oh, that's the wrong option there. They get the shit.
They get the
Say,
shit.
geez, you'd like to have that play again, Nathan.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He
Same
got it
thing,
wrong.
but just different words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a mulligan playing
you
golf.
just-
You get a mulligan.
You just put a pillow underneath.
Just imagine Tiger Woods. Gee whiz, give him a mulligan.
Unbelievable.
And when did you guys
Meet.
first meet?
I met Bossy, obviously friends with the Broncos. So when I first met with the Broncos, Bossy would come in, and I know that the boys loved a day at the races. That would be our bonding session. And I remember, like, the time I met Bossy, we used to play the Roosters every Good Friday, and I was in the dressing room, and Bossy was there with Corey Brown. And, like, Bossy come to most games. He'd come and have dinner with us the night before. He'd always be in Alf's, like, room the night before a game, the day of the game. Every time, like, he was part of us. He could jump on our bus. Like, there's not too many people that could have jumped on a Queensland, Broncos bus. A Bossy could have come anywhere with us. He was in the dressing room, and he goes, oh, mate, are you staying for the races? All the boys were going to go to the races. I said, I'm not. I'm going to go home and have a beer with Dad. And he used to go to the old Balbarry Tavern. So he goes, well, I'll win the third. And Brownie goes, yeah, I think I'm good on the 5th and the 7th or something.
Yeah.
So I went home. Oh, Dad, I think Bossy's going to win the third, and Brownie. And they won.
Yeah.
So my dad thought I was a genius. And he used to bet $3 a bet, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was the best day ever. But like, mate, it was just great.
Well,
time.
talk about that day.
It was just, and Alf had Alf's such a great guy, and he's a
Yeah.
magnet. And to have blokes like Bossy and like whoever walked in our room, it was like just part of us. Gimpy boy?
We used to have Caboolture. I
Caboolture.
started in Gympie,
Yeah, riding in Gimpy.
Yeah, I started my apprenticeship up there. But
Caboolture boy. You and Keith
but,
Urban,
But
is
we
it?
come from the era. Sorry,
Keith
we come from the era back before like mobile phones were really starting to kick in and all that. You know, I mean, like we the boys would go out after a game and
Have another drink.
It was fun, right? No, but the team would go out together.
There was never any trouble.
There was
There's
never any
bouncers there.
trouble.
Mate, there was bouncers, there was still media, there was still police,
Yep.
it's still the same.
No one
It's
was
still
ever
the
out of
same.
control. It was just good fun. Boys just being boys, you know?
and that's the part that you miss the most. I think, you know,
the bond,
when you retire, and sometimes I do miss the collision. Like if it's a really big game, like the third state of origin when it's at, like I think, geez, I wish I was out there to help them because they were big guys short. But not often I think of a game and want to play, but I do miss the banter in the sheds after the game, or you know, like and after a race or whatever. You know, it's just like that's the cool part that, you know, you can never replace.
What about that day you went down to Flemington? That's a funny day.
Bossy.
That's the best day of all
So this
time.
is so cool.
See, no one knew Gordie in Melbourne.
No.
But they did after this.
Yeah. So like then the Hardy brothers make that, don't they? Stewie.
Yes.
So Stewie Bishop makes the Melbourne Cup, the Hardy brothers. So one day we must threw in all this money. The Broncos bought our own spot in the birdcage.
Right.
So could you imagine that?
No.
So there's the Lexus Marquee, Channel 9, there's Mum, there's all these different ones. there's seriously, there's a Bunnings tent. no, there was, with plastic chairs and a barbecue. But we had the greatest time. So we couldn't afford to put a big...
And it was right at the starting. It was right where the Melbourne Cup starts.
And then we'd go watch. And then I think you're on Champagne.
I was on Champagne. I flew back from Hong Kong to ride it.
Champagne.
Yeah.
And I was such a big punter. I took $15 to the track. I put $15 on Bossy. Come second.
But like, I'm down at the
Don't
barriers.
worry, it's been discussed on the
I'm
couch.
down at the barriers.
No.
Snooky, I'm down at the barriers.
We could have had 4.
Remember that? I'm down at the barriers, right? And I'm getting myself ready. I'm in the spot next to you. Bossy! And I'm fucking... Gordie! And we're having this conversation over the fence.
We're in the Bunnings
just before the
tent.
Melbourne Cup.
So we're in an anaconda like tent, like doing this thing or whatever we are, and then all these, like, could you imagine, right? So all the fillies are walking past us. No one wanted to talk to us. Who are these bogans? There's no dress regulation. But Packer come in. Old James come in and had a beer with us. So because they were in 9 or whatever. The next minute, no one wanted to talk to us. Bossy goes past. Bossy, hey boys, I'll be back in there in a minute. Well, we were the most popular people from that moment on. From that moment on, everybody wanted to get into I'd like to call it a marquee, but it wasn't.
And I had to go and run second on the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, mate, when you come around, like, it was good.
I was home.
And the noise, like, that's one thing
Extraordinary.
like you just hear them coming.
Well, when you're on the field playing footy, you're a bit numb to that, aren't you? Because you're so into the moment, right?
You don't hear the crowd. It's white noise. Like,
It's white noise. Yeah, it's just, it's just
you don't
thing.
hear.
Really?
I used to tell my mum, "What are you yelling out for?" Like they go to the footy. I'm like, they can't. Hear
Why are
me.
you yelling at the TV?
And they yell at the TV. I'm like, they can't hear me.
Do you yell at the TV when you watch now, though?
No, I yell at bad jockeys. No, I'm not. No, I'm not a. No, I'm actually a calm sports watcher until it's state of origin. I can
Right.
watch every game of footy.
Yeah.
Watch and I've got shares in some racehorses, and I can watch it, and you wouldn't know that it's my
Right.
horse or whatever. But when it's origin, I don't know what it is. I think
What
I go
is
back.
it? Because you Queenslanders, you just take it to
Don't
a
say
new level.
you Queenslanders.
Well, you are.
No, but just saying,
You
like,
Queenslanders, like we're
No,
some-
it's impressive because I don't think in New South Wales we have nearly
know
the
what it is?
It's a
passion
chip
that
on our shoulder.
Queenslanders do.
no, it's not. It's when they put that jersey on, they become Supermen. Like they honestly become Supermen.
Do you want me to tell you the secret?
Tell me.
So I told you the Broncos come in 88. State of origin started in 1980. So for 8 years, all those kids, that was the team. In Sydney, there was Dragons, there was all those Parramatta. So Nathan Hindmarsh, when he grew up, wanted to be a Bulldog. So a lot of those guys wanted to go play for those big clubs. We didn't have the big clubs. The first side we really got the support was Queensland. And New South Wales, it's bigger, it's better. It's probably like the Wallabies versus the Kiwis. We've got that same sort of chip on our shoulder, like we're a smaller state, like you guys have a harbour, we got a brown snake, like we got, you know what I mean? I don't know. We do have one of the wonders of the world, which is the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah. But we do
With
have,
a lot of crocodiles around.
we
it
do
at
have
the
a
moment.
lot of ticker though.
Yeah. No, I don't say it means more because I know Andrew Johns, I know Laurie Daly, I know Bradley Clyde, I know Brad Fittler, I know it doesn't mean more to me than the jersey, but I think for our fans that go underground at Mount Isa, I think that jersey means more. Where I got, like when I worked at South, some South fans don't want South players playing for New South Wales because they want South to win the comp.
Yeah.
If you went to every Queenslander and said Broncos to win the premiership, or Queensland to win the next
Origin.
3, they'll go, oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like most of the fans here just pick their side to win the comp.
And how much of a part did your dad have to play in your not only professional or getting you to that professional career, but, you know, he was a big influence on your life?
Massive part. Mum and dad. Massive part. My dad was a big, humble 6'4" black fella that played every sport. Played AFL, played rugby league, played tennis, played cricket. To the stage now that they put a pole, and the road that drives into the brand new Cowboy Stadium is named Wally Talis Way after Dad.
Yeah.
So, I wish every parent that drives their kids to games would be my dad, because he never said anything. The silence is so cool. So I didn't have a, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? I want you to do that. He had his career. He was so happy. He was so happy to have his career. It wasn't that. So when I went to play sport,
He wasn't living through you.
didn't have to.
No.
He didn't have to. So that's really cool. I think the pressure on kids now, whether it's at school or whether it's in sport, I was able, and like my sisters that all play for Queensland, my brother, so we were a real sporting family. We were playing sport pretty much 365
All
days.
different sports.
Yeah.
All different sports, from Vigoro to netball to I played basketball, AFL, rugby league, cricket, softball, and we do some as family. We'd play,
That's great.
volleyball, but we were just like, our whole family on both sides were big into sport and their life members, and that's what you did in communities like towns. Like, there wasn't a lot to do.
That's what you do in country towns. I grew up in the
But
country.
did you
That's what
excel
do.
at? Did you excel at any other do you,
I was okay at AFL.
Yep.
I was okay. Dad, I think, got offered to go play down at St Kilda, went and played in England with the Lee Centurions. Now they're the Leopards. They just won the comp last year with Adrian Lamb's son, and Lammy coached them. So Dad went over and played over for Lee. Lee. I went and bumped into a couple of his old teammates a few years ago that they invited me there, and it was so cool to hear the stories because Dad never told me.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, you know how
They
you
keep
should
to
sit down and
themselves.
just interview your dad. Like, I wish you could just sit there and just document it for all of the grandkids and the future, you know, kids along the way, because there's so many great stories out there from people that have walked before us that are just untold.
100%.
You know? So, but yeah, Dad's a great role model for myself. And when I go home to North Queensland, when I go home to Townsville, but when I go home to North Queensland, I'm not Gorden Tallis. I'm Wally Tallis' son. To this day, if I go home, they go, "Hey, g'day, young Wall." I'm like young Wall or young
That's
chocolate
great.
because of the colour of his skin. They used to call me chocolate. So g'day, young choc. And
How proud you must be of that.
yeah, it's cool.
proud.
So like, I'm Judith and Wally's son. I'm not. It's cool. Like, it's cool, right? And then I'm happy for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then my kids can be called, oh, that's Wally's grandson. G'day, mate. G'day, young Wall.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's cool.
So how are you with the kids when you drive them to sport? Are you silent in the car?
No. Well, I live close to a footy field, so I walk across. No, I get a big chair, like I do, because it's hard watching your kids, right? Because people say something. So you get a big chair, you go sit back and you get a coffee, and you walk and get a coffee, and you sit and watch. And of course, I'm like every parent.
Yeah.
Like, you want them to get, you know, for one, play good, you know, and be safe. But you want them to go out there and have fun and not get hurt and all those things. And that goes through your brain. But yelling out at them doesn't help.
Yeah.
And then in the car, g'day, mate. And then the best thing I've ever got to say, geez, I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah.
Geez, I just love what. And then they could have played bad. They could have got
Yeah.
flogged. Mate, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed sitting there. It was a beautiful day, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Geez, such and such. Geez, they were a good side. Or
Yeah.
just talk, just openly.
General.
General.
Don't specifically target
Yeah, well,
what they did. Yeah.
Bossy, mate, if you had a son and he's sitting on a horse Melbourne Cup and you're sitting there, mate, you're going to want him to win. You're going to know.
Yeah, of
you're gonna,
course.
This is the ride. You've probably done the form for him.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, God.
You got to let them go out there.
Yeah,
do it themselves.
I think so. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon it'd be like Ivan Cleary and Nathan. I reckon that'd be hard. Kevin
How do
Bitland.
you think that dynamic would be? Because we've seen them sit
He's
down.
lucky his son's so good. If his son was, mate, if his son wasn't good, it'd be tougher.
But I reckon that'd add even more pressure to that dynamic
I
as
don't know.
well.
Well,
don't know,
Joey's
I
got a
look
son playing for the Roosters now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, it's
hard.
going to be
I
hard.
don't know. When you see them two together, you can see the respect for each other.
Yeah.
It's it does look like a father and son.
But
you know what I mean?
Flanagan and Kyle Flanagan, it's because people go, oh, like if he plays bad, it's hard. But Nathan's so good.
He's
Like
so
Nathan's winning, right? So,
he can-
mate, if your son's winning the big race, you go, oh,
Yeah.
God, he's just like his old man, or it's a great team. If you're training and he's a jockey, you'd say, what a great team.
Well-
but it's hard. Like Brad Fittler's son just went and played rugby union. And I
Yeah.
think that probably would be to step away from his dad's shoes.
Yeah.
You would think, but I don't know.
Well, you got young Sam playing his
Sam Walker,
Sam Walker.
mate, and what a career he's having, and that's probably why he got out of Queensland, because his three brothers, well, his two uncles, and his dad played for the Broncos, and they played for a few other clubs in Sydney as well. But
he's a talent though, isn't he?
unbelievable. He's
Jeez.
closest to Elf, isn't he?
Oh,
like
mate,
just with those little
He's
kicks.
so
and-
like him.
well, they're from Ipswich, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, but like he's unpredictable in the way he does it, but
Yeah.
it's not unpredictable to him.
Well, I think
You know.
Ben and Shane and Chris grew up under Elf,
Oh,
and
that's
I
right.
think their education on footy is Elf.
Well, they would have watched a lot of it.
Watched Elf,
Would have
and
watched
like
him,
or
mate.
like that era. So I think having the best of both worlds, and Ben, Shane, and Chris were
Yeah,
unbelievable talent. Like
So-
Ben Walker was
very.
an unbelievable talented player. So we
We play a
keep
bit of
on
golf
saying
together.
that-
He's a
and
he's a
keep on saying
competitive
that
bastard.
Sam's Elf, but Sam's like Ben and Shane and Chris, they were great players.
Oh, there's no in their
Yeah.
own right, but no doubt. Yeah.
Who's a player you're enjoying watching at the moment?
I loved I love watching Sam Burgess play.
Mhm.
Like, I love watching those big guys. I love Matty Bowen. Like I loved watching people like Matty Bowen. Jaden Campbell for the Titans, Big Tino. They're probably two of my favourites. Jaden because his dad, Preston, I think he made his debut against Wendell Saylor, and I reckon if he's 70 kilos,
Yeah.
I'm lying to you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he marked Wendell and
Yeah.
Preston to have the career he has, won a grand final, to start at I think they were the Gold Coast Chargers, to Cronulla, to Penrith, to have the career that he had and watch his son play now. Like, I sort of get a bit of nostalgia with that.
Mm.
I love watching Reece. Like, I love watching the pretty guys, like the guys that
Yeah.
just do stuff that
They can turn a game quickly, can't they?
they're just, and then it's just amazing, like those, like the real stars, like, Hemaso Tabuai-Fidow, what he can do on the field, Reece Walsh, like
That
they're the
X
ones.
factor.
Yeah, well, back in the day we
They're
had
just good looking.
well,
They're
back in
just-
the day,
they
yeah.
got everything.
But back in the day, remember like Pearl, like you get the
I'm Reece Walsh with the light off.
yeah.
That's what I tell my wife.
But imagine like back in the day you had
I'm George Clooney.
you had those
She goes,
blokes-
loony.
You had those blokes behind you, like every time Pearl got the ball,
Yep.
you knew they could score.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Because he was just elusive,
And- And that's the problem, right? So I was supposed to do the shit work, and then like
They were off the
pressure
back
now,
of your
right?
work.
And the pressure now, they go, Steve Renouf would have had to have 20 carries because they're all on stats. But no, Pearl, you catch it 3 times and score 3 tries. That's what we want. But I don't think the coaches are game enough. Like you watch, someone like David Fafita, he's doing work that you can get a bloke to go do that job.
Mm.
You don't get
Do you have any coaching
no.
desire?
No. I put the food on the table for my family,
Yeah, that's good.
not 30 guys.
Yeah,
I just watch the mate go through it. No chance.
yeah.
I'm not relying on anybody.
Mm.
There's enough knives in my back without coaching.
Mm.
It's a tough gig, eh, Gordie? It's a
It
tough
is,
gig.
right? And I don't want to babysit. I don't want to keep them happy. Then you tell someone the truth and he goes to his manager,
Mm.
then he's there and he's out and this and that. Like in my era, right? You played, Alan Langer would tell you to get off. The trainer would be running the water out after the other team would score, and he'd say, get that bloke off.
Mm.
He wouldn't say it that polite.
Mm.
Mm.
And you'd be looking down just thinking, hopefully it's not me, and you'd open one eye.
Yeah,
Like you sort of pretend that you're injured.
yeah.
Is he talking to me? But Alf would send a player off. And then I was late one time. I was late 15 minutes one day. And Wayne Bennett, I remembered I'm driving down Red Hill at the old one, and I looked, and the team's on the field. I went, fuck, I'm late. And the worst feeling ever, right? It's
Yeah.
the worst feeling. And I walk out, Wayne goes, fuck off. Fuck off. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Training's at 2:30. This is 2:20. I mean, this is 2:15 or something. So I walk out on the field. He goes, you fucking heard me. Fuck off. I go home. This is like no mobile.
Wow.
And Wayne goes, where were you today? I said, well, we had skills in the morning and weights. I said, I hurt my groin a little bit, so I went up the physio, and it used to be up the road. It wasn't in the same building.
Yeah.
So we used to drive up the road to do physio. I got some lunch. I said, I'm driving back down. He goes, well, I changed trainer. Where were you? I said, I was at physio. He goes, don't do it again.
Wow.
Right? Could you imagine telling a kid that? So that's the coaching that I got.
Mm.
And
You're
Brian
never late
Smith-
again.
And Brian, I was only late once. And Brian Smith was really hard too.
Yeah.
But that's cool because we play a man's game. See, the thing that Rugby League and the Arthur Beatons and the Elves, it's a brave game.
Mm.
It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint-hearted. We shouldn't apologise for who we are. So if I went there and I coached men and I said the wrong words and he got upset, how am I going to get that kid to go out there and stand up to Jared or Hargreaves?
Mm.
Mm.
So that's why I'm out of coaching. That's why, because if I just told you to do something, I don't want why. Just do it. I'm
Just
the
do
coach.
it, yeah.
The only reason why I'm telling you to do it is because you're going to be better, and that's how we win.
So why do you think Wayne, because he is a man of so few words, yet what he says counts? How does he communicate with the playing group?
Because no one can go against him. Because if you don't do that, he fucks you off.
Mm.
Right.
You're out.
So he's kept that same approach his entire career?
Pretty much. Wayne knows who wins and who doesn't.
Yeah.
He knows the recipe. He's just not giving it out yet.
No.
But he knows the recipe. He knows what works. So he'll go, no, that bloke won't work. So he can move them on, and the media don't get into him.
Mm.
And the players can't bitch because it's Wayne. Players can't bitch about Craig Bellamy, and they can never say anything about Ivan Cleary now.
Mm.
Mm.
So they can go do their job and say, and then when they go, oh, mate, Melbourne got rid of him. Right? But another club, oh, mate, the coach, he wasn't getting coached. So every other coach gets stabbed in the back. But when you got Wayne or Craig or Ivan,
But they've earned that right too.
they've earned the
They've
right.
earned that
exactly.
right.
Yeah, mate.
And Wayne's
it's
got
probably
the-
like on Bart Cummings. He goes, look,
Yeah.
that horse was ridden wrong.
Yep.
The jockey goes, mate, you went in a race. Bart's
Yeah,
got the right
you'd never ever say no.
to Bart.
Like you'd never say, "Fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about." To Bart, you know what I mean?
Would
I met
you say
him
it
one
to
day.
Would you say it to any trainer though?
Oh yeah, I said it to a few trainers in my career. Yeah,
Yeah,
bloody
what
hell.
would you say?
But when I got to a level, I could,
Yeah, because he's
but
not
you know,
out
like
there.
I'd say, listen, they'd say, you didn't ride that well. I said, mate, if your horse was half fit, like you don't bring me a vehicle
Yeah.
that's not ready to race.
Yeah,
And
right.
I'd say it in front of their owners and then walk around and go, I shouldn't have said that. But I'd tell it straight up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But someone like Bart or a TJ, or you'd never say that to them because their stature was
But he'd have his horse ready, right?
pretty well.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You'd be bullshitting. But
Yeah.
but Wayne's got that ability to
yeah.
get, like the players want to play for him.
Yeah,
and they wanna-
mate,
and they wanna
absolutely. Wayne's a freak like that, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time, you can't be around men like that. He's 75 at the end of this year, and just the way he can manage the situation, it's cool, right? It's like every time I see him, I coach him, we hug, and he's funny. And we goes, oh, you don't like, and then Wayne's, because when I was getting into him, he didn't like us. He doesn't like me. So then the media, well, he doesn't like Wayne.
Yeah.
That's not what I was saying.
Yeah.
And then he just got that. He's the best politician in Australia. There you go.
But he's people don't see the real Wayne. He's got a good sense
He's
of
so
humour.
funny, isn't
He loves a laugh. He
He's so-
loves being with the boys.
Loves
Like
it.
more than anything, he loves being with the boys.
Yeah.
When did you get the racing bug?
Well, my uncle had a racehorse called Bistrom, I think, and it wore maroon silks up in Townsville. There was a little jockey up there called Harold Warren, and I used to go jump on a horse most Saturday mornings, and it's a little sort of pony in the yard, and my dad used to call him Handbrake Harold. I don't know why, but Handbrake Harold Warren. And then, so we've always sort of been around it. And my other uncle, he owned greyhounds, and we were there. And then my mum's got a horse now. It's called Mr. Galazzi. It and Liquor. I think it was a Liquor beater on a protest about a month ago. And I got a couple others, it's just great. It's great. David Murphy, you would have known
Yeah,
David Murphy. I think he was a jockey.
Yes.
I had a couple of bad falls, and now he's he's a great trainer. And just because of being mates with him, and he's mates with blokes from Townsville,
Yeah.
and he goes, mate, I've got to share. And then I've actually really enjoyed. I don't always go to the track. If it's running at Ipswich on a Wednesday or goes to the sunny coast, and you get in the car
Yeah.
and go down there and have a little day. I don't like going to the big tracks and have to put on a tie and a jacket, but I like when you can just go in shorts
It's
and
like
thongs and
Ellen and KEVVY there in that horse. Six more
six
songs.
more songs. 6 more songs.
6 more songs.
Yeah, mate, we'll beat that horse.
Yeah. It
we
ran
should
good
have
the
a
other
national-
day. It ran second at Eagle Farm on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like it won its maiden and went to a good
Did
hot
it?
race on a Saturday at Eagle Farm. Mate, only just got beaten. Ran fourth. But it was right there to the finish. Give him a thrill.
Does it have legs like Alf and Kevvy?
Oh, mate, no. No.
It's a little quarter horse.
Little sausage fingers.
6 more songs.
6 more songs.
Six
You
more,
walk
yeah.
into the Caxton and they've got the T-shirts. Says
It's
6
so
more
good.
songs.
Yeah, no, but like I really enjoy. You know, I mean, not often you can get a buzz. You know what I mean? Like in the watch, and like what goes into it. Like you don't realise. And Muntie's a trainer now, from a jockey to a trainer, and he'd probably say training's hard. Like you got all these horses, and they're all different.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like Bossy can get on a horse, and I know, but as a jockey, he knows, God, this is what I'm going to do. But to have 20 in your stable, and they're all so different.
Would you ever go down the training path?
Nope. I reckon I'd be really good at it too. But if you just, when I say no, if you just left me with the horses only, that was only my only job, was just to manage, like get the horses fit and get them happy and be ready. And I had someone else, a co-trainer that did everything else, like looked after the owners, the media and all that sort of shit. I could do that, but it's a tireless job.
Yeah.
You know, it's
consistent. They're up at 3 o'clock every morning. They
360 days a year.
And then they're back and they swim them in the afternoon. Like, and I went and worked in a stable and, you know, shoveling the poo and all that, and just and I'm scared of them. So it was more of a fear thing. They're just so big. They're just so
Are
big.
you still scared of them?
Yeah.
Really?
Mate, you serious? Mate, a horse is undefeated.
Yeah.
You tell me a horse that's defeated.
Yeah. True. Mate, if they want to have their way with you, like,
I saw
on.
Bossy with a halo, right? He had he had a neck injury. I had one, and he came into sitting in Alf singing. He had like the big brace on his neck, and I'm there, and I might have teased him a bit. He goes, "You get on the back of a ute, and it goes 50 kilometres or 60 kilometres, and you jump off it."
See how you go.
I went, no.
No.
And then you got the 700 kilo big thing coming like right behind you that can step on you. So, they're beautiful, but they're bred and they're just, some of them are fiery. They kick you. Some are nasty.
Well, they're highly tuned athletes.
Some are nasty,
I mean?
like, you know, Lazo that will bite your head off if you walk past, and some are like Alf that buzz around and wants to play and picks the rake up and throws it.
Alf's more a little pony.
Oh, he'd be a little
He's
Welsh
a
pony.
Yeah, no, he's a piss.
He is the best, isn't he?
Little pony teaser.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Don't.
He is.
Don't say that.
He'd love that tag. He'd love it.
I don't want to
Just
think
a big
about
shout out
that.
to me little mate there.
You'd have some good race day stories though.
Yeah, well, obviously Bossy, like you know, having pretty much a tent in the marquee area at the birdcage was pretty much a highlight of my career. And then James Packer walking in and walking past, going, "What are you guys doing here?" Which was pretty cool.
I love that.
But no, look, because when I first went to the track and Alf was there one day, because is it the clerk or the clerk?
Clark.
The clerk of the course.
Clark of the course, yeah.
Is always an old grey champion, isn't it?
yeah.
It's a grey champion.
Yeah, generally.
So
yeah.
I always thought that, and they're retired, I thought that horses, as they got older, got grey.
They all went grey,
Oh.
like humans.
Yeah.
That's what you thought. Okay.
Well, it's hair.
yeah. No,
yeah.
I
It's
understand
like
what you're saying.
So then there was a race one day, and I said, God, why's that old grey horse running? And then Alf teased me.
Yeah.
Alf, like, it's not funny, but now I own racehorses, but I thought grey horses were old. Like, that's...
Yeah, they all turn grey at some point, you thought.
Yeah. No, but when I was young at the Dragons, Ingham's Chickens,
Yeah, oh yeah.
they wore
Jack
the
and Bob.
Cerise. Yeah.
Yep.
Nathan Brown had a connection with them somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm 19 or 20. We're there. We go out to the track out here, not
Rose Hill.
Randwick,
Rose Hill.
So we're out there. We're in this box, and there's no credit card. There's no that. So I go, and I think I might have had $150. That's like beers and everything. Like, that's how cheap it was back in the day. Bloke goes, "You got $50?" That bloke said his horse is going to run. I'm like $50? Like, no way. Like, I'm working on the Hurstville Council. I'm digging holes for a living. I'm not giving him $50. I just give him $50. Bang. One.
Octagonal or something, was it?
No.
No?
He backed like 8 winners. This guy was with
Jack and Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they knew.
What
they had the horses, so that was the best day I've ever had at the track. I reckon every time I handed over money, there was just all coming back.
Wow.
I don't think they lost a race. Wherever it was, they pretty much picked the card.
How good.
That was the best day I've ever had at the track.
How old were you then?
1920s.
Wow.
Mate, and I reckon I walked out with probably, I don't know, 1,500. That's massive back in the day.
I'd be happy with that now.
That's what I got for a state of origin. So that's
Digging.
probably equivalent to 30 or something. Yeah,
Digging
back in-
holes.
I-
Digging holes,
yeah,
bugger that.
Yeah, like digging holes, yeah. So what was I on about? $280 a week. So that's a pretty good wage. you know.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Have
That
you
was
got-
my flights home to Townsville.
Oh, it's not
I
bad.
was too tired. I didn't book business class. I sat up the back. Though.
Bet you fly business these days.
No chance.
Really?
No.
But
I'm not a
you're
businessman.
so tall.
I'm not a businessman.
Don't you want the comfort?
No.
Mate, I fly down the back of the plane too, don't worry.
Yes,
I don't
yeah.
care. We
Talking
all
like
get
I
there at the
know.
same
Same
time.
time.
We all get
Yeah,
there
I
at the
don't-
same time.
I don't get the buzz about business class.
You know what shits me off too now, Gordie?
They think
This
they're better than
fucking
you.
gives it to me because I've been on a lot of flights lately. Those, you know, when the
Do your feet touch the ground when you?
no, I'm about there. I'm about there. But you
You're
know when
quite
you get,
tall,
you know when
actually.
the when the plane lands, they dock. Fucking people who stand up and want to go to the oh mate, I nearly put my foot out. But they're rushing to go and stand for their bags to come out. I go,
Yeah.
no, I did a pull and bloke. He said, because he barged his way through. And I said, mate, how do you fucking feel, you idiot? Like, you've rushed to get to a red light. And he looked at me and said, what are you talking about? I said, mate, you made yourself look like an idiot because everyone's watching him go past.
Yeah.
And a couple of them want to hit him. And he's standing at
People
the
get so
belt
aggressive
like
on
this.
planes.
Oh, I can be gay. I thought,
It could have been his anniversary. Could have really. His wife was waiting there in a sign to pick him up.
he was waiting. He wanted to wait for his bag.
I know. So
Oh,
I
it
just
shits
got.
me that
Are
does.
you a
Yeah,
first on the plane or last on the plane?
I don't care.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
don't
bother
care.
me.
I'm last.
I don't care.
Are you?
I don't want to be on the plane longer than necessary.
Hmm.
I'm also last to the gate, which really irks my husband.
Yeah, no, I'm either. That doesn't worry me. As soon as it goes, I grab a coffee.
Yeah.
And then we put the headphones
Geez,
in.
you've mentioned coffee a few times in this chat, so we
Shiver.
can
I
confirm.
don't drink coffee.
Don't drink coffee. He drinks. Hang on. He drinks beer out of a Melbourne Cup.
Mate, where's the Raging Bull, Bossy?
Yeah, why didn't you bring
Hey,
it
Mate,
with
I like
you?
4 Pines, actually. They do a great
Well,
job. They
can I-
sponsor them. Manly Boys.
Can you send
That's
me a
great
couple
job.
of
Yes.
a carton
We'll
of that?
drink.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll drink that.
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
Oh, how good.
So it's not only really sophisticated stuff we talk about here.
Yes.
I want to play a game because I think you're really good for this game.
He does like games.
Are you ready?
Born ready.
Okay. This is rock band, racehorse, or rude film. So, the gist of the game. It's not tricky. I'll give you a name and you have to tell us, is it a rock band, is it a racehorse, or is it a rude film? Okay. Bossy will play
All
too.
those trips away, you know, in the hotels, all those porn that you watched over the
Don't.
years. You'll
All
get
right.
these.
Here we go. First name.
You're giving it away.
Yeah.
I'm so bad. I was instructed to say this like straight down the barrel and I just can't do it. 2 in the pink.
Oh my God. What do you think, Gordie?
Is it a rock band? Is it a racehorse? Or is it a rude film? Oh God, I'm so uncomfortable.
I'd say it's a racehorse.
I'm going to say racehorse too.
Why do you think it's a racehorse?
Because there's some guys out there that are sitting around the pub that they're in a syndicate
Yeah.
and they all threw
That's
a name
right.
in.
That's
and
right.
they put it in there and the old blokes that give the name didn't realise what it meant.
Yeah.
An Irish mare, 14-year-old,
Yeah.
and she's grey.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
a grey.
The Irish.
Just
Well done,
they
gents.
know
well
they've
done.
got the best sense
They're probably
of humour.
from Kildare, actually.
Yeah.
All right, the next one. Kiss the anus of a black cat.
What the
Kiss the anus of a black
cat?
cat. I think that's a rock band myself.
Well, it can't be a racehorse
No.
because it's just, you can't say that, right?
No.
It's too long.
Just imagine Kenny Callender saying that.
Yeah.
Down the straight.
Yeah, come down the outside. Kiss you after a black cat.
I love Kenny.
I've got to go the same way because it just sounds like a band.
A band. It is a Belgium goth band.
Oh, yeah,
Goth.
that's right. I got that one.
See?
Yeah. You're
Emo.
good at this.
I'm an emo.
I'm not surprised that you're good at this game. All right.
It's common sense.
Big tits.
Yeah.
Sounds like a rock
And?
band to me.
That's fun. It's fun.
That's none of the above.
Oh.
That was a trick question.
Do they like coffee?
Do you like big tits?
I would have to say that there would be a adult film.
No, I'm thinking a rock band.
It's a French racehorse. A filly, in fact. Unplaced in all 6 races. Bit top heavy, if you will.
Okay.
Or the very breast.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah,
Wow.
good. I'll pay that one. But Jesus, wouldn't get past in Australia.
Right.
No.
What about big ticks hanging on the corner? They're out everywhere.
Darren Flindell would have fun with that.
Wouldn't he
Not
have?
with big tits, but with the name.
You said
No.
a bloke could
Big tits.
You said that.
I can get away with saying that.
Jeez, I was about to say something there. But
No,
I
don't.
won't.
No,
I
don't.
won't.
Okay, the
This is
Bone
my
Ranger.
favourite podcast ever.
The Boat Ranger.
The Bone Ranger.
Oh, the Bone Ranger.
The Bone Ranger. Is it a rock
That's a
band?
horse.
Is it a racehorse or is
That's
it
a
a rude
horse.
film?
It's
Bone
a
Ranger.
rude film.
Lone Ranger, Bone Ranger. That's
A horse?
yeah. I think
And
that's.
what do you
a-
reckon?
Film.
You're right. It's a film.
Oh, I've gone one up.
This is the decider.
I actually haven't seen that one.
That's the thing.
You were so adamant. to
That's the
no.
thing, Gordie.
Mate, hey, listen, I'm married. I don't know what they're talking about.
Gordie, I have seen it.
All right. I think this could be a decider, or
All
this
right.
is we're just
Here we
saying
go.
it for the sake of it. Both of these nuts.
What?
Both for D's nuts.
Both of these nuts.
Both of
That's
these
a
nuts.
horse.
Yeah, it's got a bow for these. Yeah, that's a horse.
It's a gelding in the US.
Oh,
in
I win.
Oklahoma.
There you go. Yeah,
I win, mate.
you beat me.
Gotcha. First time in history,
Big tits got him.
the big tits got me.
The big tits got
Oh,
him.
well.
Thanks for coming around to our house and playing games and
It's a
drinking with us.
no, look,
And
it's a pleasure. And Bossy doing a great job. It's a tough
Oh,
market.
it's always fun
It's good.
catching
You
up
too,
with
Snook.
my mates.
It's good.
We go
It's
back a long
fantastic.
way, so it's good to have you on the couch, mate.
It's always good to be.
It's
here.
good to see that you're doing honestly so well outside. You know when you leave your sport and you go away. And,
Yeah.
You know you.
Well,
you
it's
just-
30
you've-
years,
mate.
So
You've done a treat. It's
30 odd
unbelievable.
years and 30 odd years in the game. 20 years retired.
Wow.
So good.
Really?
Yeah,
God, you're
20
young.
years retired.
Yeah.
You
Still
was-
love the game. Talking about it.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks,
Thank
Bossy.
you.
You're a star.
Thanks for coming in. Nice to see you. Do you want to just keep drinking out of the cup?
I like it. It's
Yeah.
stays
Do you know-
cold, mate. You said that.
Yeah,
Mate,
don't- Yeah, I told you.
We're at the Southport Golf Club, and Bossy just
Just mention a
trumped
Melbourne
me.
Cup.
Oh, he just
Yeah,
like-
didn't I get you?
Oh, he just trumped me. And he goes, seriously, it'll stay cold. It stays really
Well, I did. I couldn't trump him anywhere. Like, cause, mate, he's the raging bull. Like, everyone loves
What do you
him.
reckon that's worth?
Priceless.
They're priceless.
Yeah, no.
Can I tell you what happened to me?
Well, mate, it's like the Olympic gold medal, right?
Yeah.
They work and they are priceless.
Mm.
But
See,
I
what
hate the way they put the price. Oh, it cost $488 for it, or whatever,
Yeah.
or $600.
Yeah.
Like I think the Sydney Olympic gold medal costs $600. It costs way more than
What's
that.
the
Yeah,
most
it does.
expensive trophy? Is the Everest the most expensive trophy now? It's like $500,000.
No.
Golden slipper.
No, these because these
Oh,
are
the
simple.
cup.
These
Ma-
are priceless. Like, they are priceless. For you, I mean, they're only what someone would pay for them. But for me to get rid, can I tell you what happened last
No,
night?
mate,
Gordie?
you would never get rid of them.
Can you?
Well, he
no,
nearly
I fucking
did.
tried last night. Have a listen to this story. So
Now the podcast's starting.
fuck me, mate. So this is it.
Settle
right?
in.
I told Tommy before. So and this is my worst nightmare. I fly from Brisbane down to Sydney. I'm late for a function last night. Anyway, as I'm getting to the function, I said to the girl who's running the joint, I said, I'm just a minute around the corner. I'll need a hand to get out of the car because I've got a bit of luggage. So I'm off to Melbourne. She gets me 2 bags out of the car, the boot, and I get my stuff out. I walk and I got out and I'm paying taxi. So I get out. Taxi fucking goes quick. And I went, my cups. I said, where are my cups? They're in the boot of the taxi. I am on the phone to the taxi company on hold for 20, 25 minutes. I want to faint. I want to spew.
Did you nearly cry? I'd be crying.
No, I want to cry.
Yeah.
Because I've got all the scenarios going through my head.
Yeah.
They're gone, right? So 3 hours, we were back and forth with the taxi company. And eventually, because the taxi guy wouldn't answer his phone. And I'm thinking, oh, fucking beautiful. He's got them. They're gone. So now I'm in really bad state. And I'm supposed to speak at this function.
How did the function go?
Oh, mate, I was shaking, right? Anyway, we got hold of him. And to his credit, he was at Parramatta. He come all the way back in. Mate, I give him a good sling, and he didn't know what was in the boot. He had no idea, so I showed him, and he went, can I get some photos? And I'm nearly crying. Fuck, I thought I lost him.
Yeah, see, that's
Can't
well,
be
see,
tipping it out.
no, well, see, that's the thing. Like, we get the grand final, and then,
Yep.
and it's really good that Bossy takes them around so people get to enjoy, and we're too humble in our game. Like I think when you win a premiership, I should wear the ring more. I used to wear it all grand final week and grand final day, but like you should, because people want to see
celebrate it.
Well, I get more joy out of other people having fun with them. Honestly, I take them to when we go speaking.
Yep, the South
everyone in the room can have a beer out of me cups, and they're going. They can't believe they're having a beer out of the cup.
Yeah,
you know? So,
because the table I was on, so we did the Southport Golf Club.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, Bossy pulls them out, and everybody on the table was taking a photo, and it was like cool, and like it's.
Never thought I'd ever go one up on you ever anywhere.
But I got it stops the nation. I growing up in Townsville, you didn't get to watch too much, but the television and the school would stop. And I'm talking when I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, you would stop and watch, and it'd be a syndicate. I don't know whether it still happens,
still goes,
but it should happen because it's part of our DNA.
It is part of our DNA for sure.
Well, thank you.
Well, thanks for being there, mate.
I'm taking one home, Snooks.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you can take one. I know it'll be looked after.
Oh, it's so good.
It'll be used.
So good in it. Cheers, mate.
It's fake.
Cheers, mate.
Ipswich Cup.
Yeah. Hey, I did win one of those. Yeah, I won an Ipswich Cup.
Oh, mate, that's a donut, that track.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like it's.
Remember where I took one of ours there one day, and it was $1.30 and got beat.
How's about that? The raging bull. He does drink coffee after all.
Sat down and had a coffee with us, didn't he?
I love him. He's just such a great character.
Well, he just says it as it is, and he's unapologetic about the way he goes about his business too. So, but you know what? When you're as big a unit as him, you can pretty well say it as you want. No one's going to argue.
But he's also got the goods to back it up, and it was great to have him here in studio. I think we touched on it last episode. It was nice to see him giving Tommy Berry some tackling lessons. You just never know where this show is going to take you.
You just never know. But I'm glad that Gordie dropped in because. It was nice. It was nice to hear his stories. There was a few stories that I'm sure he's never told, but that was fantastic.
Yeah, he's one of the great characters. I tell you what, Bossy, not only are you tanned, you're really, really busy because the carnival is in full swing in Melbourne, as are these guys at International Premier Events. We know they threw a stellar party for Everest Day, but they're big ones coming up. Yeah,
so I'll be there Derby Day, which is obviously Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there Cup Day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there Oaks Day.
Mm-hmm.
And Champions Day for
It
IPM.
is
It's going to be massive.
Happening. They are brilliant at hospitality. They are brilliant at all things entertainment. You get to hang out with Bossy at events like this. It's not too late to sign up for any of their events that they've got coming up. ipevents.com.au for your number one in hospitality. They also do really nice merch.
They do. So if you get there, you'll see me.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is far more important than the merch.
Oh my God. Stop that. I can hear the ticket sales just going, now, Bossy's going to be there. Stop it.
Tickets are going through the roof. Speaking of tickets, it's time for Bossy's Best. Bossy, the racing continues this weekend. Let's start in New South Wales, Rose Hill. We've got the Russell Balding Stakes. This is shaping up as a little mini Everest of sorts.
Yeah, 100%. So they'll go to 1,300 metres. First time this spring for the sprinters. And Bella Nipotina is eligible for a $1 million bonus. Can you imagine winning an Everest? Then you come out and win the Russell Balding, which is worth itself $3 million. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
What a time to have a sprinter in Australia. It's incredible the amount of prize money that's on available.
Yeah, you got to give it to Racing New South Wales. They've been pretty creative with this one, and that $1 million bonus, I don't think anyone from memory has won it yet. So is Bella Nipotina the mare to get it done? This is a great field. Again, we've got Bella Nipotina, Sunshine in Paris, Coal Crusher, Lady Laguna, Private Eye.
Yep, I am me.
I am me, yes.
Well, she's beat them all before and beat them convincingly. Like, you know, the Everest, she had no favours, 3 wide, on speed, still tough enough to beat them. And you just got to look at her form. It's we spoke about her on numerous occasions, how consistent she is. If you're going to go to war, you take Bella Nipotina because she will not let you down. So, geez, you'd be a brave man to tip against her on what she did in the Everest.
I've certainly tipped her this week for my tipping comp. But is it a tough ask to do that turnaround off the back of such a big race like the Everest?
Not for her. Not for her. Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 weeks. She would have gone to the property at Bong Bong. You know, she would have went through the massages and day spa. Would have had her nails done, her hair.
I actually would like to sign up to go to Bong Bong because it looks amazing. Not going to lie.
It looks amazing. You know, the salt water, the hyperbaric chamber they've all got there. I mean, she'd be turning up to Rose Hill on Saturday looking $1 million and feeling it as well.
Well, speaking of cash, the Golden Eagle, $10 million. Thank you very much. And of course, you've even won one of those.
I won the inaugural.
You did.
On Colding.
On our mate Colding.
What a thrill. What a thrill to win the first one. So, yeah, it always pulls together. I mean, it's $10 million. But it's pulled together an amazing field this year. We've got a couple of Japanese runners. We've got a French runner who's unbeaten. Group 1 winner in France. So this is really interesting. You know, this, like when you look at horses like Southport Tycoon have been running so well. Then the barrier draw, you get barrier 15. Craig Williams, he's flying. Don't worry about that. But
well, this is an interesting one too because it's capacity field 20 out at Rose Hill. What is the key to a race like this out there?
With 20 runners, it's the 1,500 metre starts, I'd say one of the fairest starts at Rose Hill. You've got a good long run to get to the first turn, but with 20 runners, geez, I'll tell you what, it's going to be quick to get to that first turn because everyone will be trying to make a decision where they want to be. So there's going to be probably some unlucky runners, but Snooky, what happens when you get 20? It generates a lot of pace. Yeah. So this is going to be quite a spectacle.
Who are you liking?
Well, it's hard to go past this Japanese runner. I can't even. Some Pacheco, what's his name?
Ascoli
Pacheco.
We've got to look that up.
Anyway, whatever his name is, number 19, he has got form like a jet.
Yeah, and Joe Marrero rides?
Joe Marrero rides. Wow. He might start even money because he's got unbelievable. And the Japanese come out and won it last year very convincingly. And apparently this horse is lengths better. And we all know how good how they travel their horses. They get here in great health all the time. Man, they ran second in the Cox Plate on the last weekend. So could be just all over. But
it's a great concept. It's great to see the international contenders coming out. Another element of this race, which is also really lovely, is the charity element. So each runner represents a chosen charity. So a great concept, another great day of racing here in Sydney. But of course, it is all about Flemington. First of all, the Group 1 Coolmore, this stallion-making race. Who are you liking in this one?
Yeah, it's a great race for the 3-year-olds. It's a stallion-making race. So, and this year's edition is no doubt one of the better ones I've seen. Growing Empire comes out of the Everest. You can imagine he can't be anything but hard to beat. Coleman has been lurking. He's a very, very good colt. Then you got Traffic Warden. Then we got Switzerland. Oh my God. This is going to be a hell of a race.
This will be interesting with Traffic Warden. Obviously, we didn't see him start at the Everest. He got to the barriers and then was scratched, which is so disappointing for the team. But you got to think he was primed. He was ready.
Well, he was in the market. And when he was pulled out, there was a hush went over at Randwick because there was a lot of money for this horse. So the money was there to say he ran well on Everest. So you have to respect that.
Okay, Switzerland, James McDonald too.
What are you tipping?
Oh, I don't know. Switzerland.
Oh, Growing Empire. He's running in the Everest was very good. And Kieran Maher. He's absolutely
Kieran Maher, what's he doing? What's he drinking at Bong Bong? Jeez, everything he touches is turning to gold.
He might be going in the hyperbaric chamber himself with the horses. No doubt.
Maybe he is. All right, let's get to the Derby now. I called it last week. El Castello
wins again.
Yeah, she did.
Well done. You must be up on the tipping competition.
I'm so close to our tipping comp
Oh.
on my little racing show, Racing Dreams. I'm coming second. I need to win this week. To secure the comp. Oh,
Well, El Costello, he'll bring that form down. Spring Champion Stakes winners, that's pretty well too good for this sort of class of, the 3-year-olds. So they're all going to 2,500 for the first time in their life, but he looks like the type of horse. He seems to just have a great racing pattern. He does everything right in the races. He looks super hard to beat.
that's the thing. They are stepping up here. And it was actually really lovely to see Anthony Cummings off the back of that win last week. He actually got a bit emotional.
Yeah, Big Anthony. I love the man. He's he's a wonderful trainer and a great human being. If this horse can overcome barrier 18, that's the trick, because the start at Snooky at the 2,500 metre start at Flemington is probably the trickiest start.
Okay.
You only have literally 100 odd metres before you get to the first turn, 150 metres. So the start is critical. If you can get a good spot early, you just park the car and just let it idle along, and then you can get the race one. But if you don't, you can be in a lot of trouble for a long way.
So who are you liking in this year's Derby?
El Costello. He just looks too classy. If he can overcome the barrier, and Josh Parr's he's riding with a lot of confidence at the moment, Josh. So if he can get the job done early, he can get the job done late.
Oh, it's such a good day of racing because we've also got the Empire Row Stakes.
Yes.
And it's another great crack field.
Yeah, it is. Amelia's Jewel. Where is she? I mean, she keeps running well, but she hasn't threatened to win yet. So she's kind of lost me a bit, because she used to be so consistent. She's lost her way. What are we going to look at?
I can't believe it's taken me this long.
What?
Huey's back. And
Oh.
he's got a good couple of rides, including Kamochi in this one.
Yeah, Huey's back in town. He's got good rides all day.
Mm.
So Huey might make a little bit of his presence. He rides so good at Flemington too, by the way. So yeah, he might make his mark. Huey, love
Nice.
to see the.
Making a little cameo. He's just snuck
Kamochi.
on back in under the radar. He might take the goods and sneak off again.
Atitsu is probably the real class runner of the race. So, if she can bring her best form, but Orchestral is another really classy mare. I mean, this is a really good race. It's got a lot of depth this year, which, I mean, when you got $2 million on $1 million on prize money, you're gonna pull together a good field. But I'm tipping James McDonald to go on his merry way.
Yep. Could be J-Max weekend again. It's just, I love this. I love this time of year for the stories. It's so lovely to see when you get all the good news stories, and it's just so fun and vibrant.
Whether it's Sydney or Melbourne, there's racing writes its own stories. That's the best part. You just sit back, watch it, and just let it all unfold, and all the stories just come.
Well, it's been a season of stories for us here at Who's the Boss. I have loved every minute of it, Bossy. We have had 10 incredible shows, 10 incredible guests. Well done. Bossy's Black Book. It's one of the better Black Books, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a ball. When we started this journey together, Snooky, you kind of don't know where you're going to go, but I've really enjoyed it. I hope everyone out there has enjoyed it as much as I have, because it's been a blast, and I can't wait for season 2.
Season 2, baby. Let's do it. Who's the Boss? We'll be back again. I'm Julie Snook. That is Glenn Boss. And if you want to keep following us, keep listening to us, go back, listen to the episodes. You can track us down at Who's the Boss Pod. We are on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. You can hear us where you get all your good podcasts from. Don't stop following us. We'll see you for season 2.
I should be cracking a champagne right now or something.
I
feel
know.
like
Does anyone
you
have
could
a
be doing
champagne?
something like
Anyone?
cheesing you or something, Snooky.
Love your work, Bossy.
Love you too. Take care.
There you have it, another episode of Who's the Boss. If you'd like to subscribe, you can head over this side. And if you'd like to see more content, head over this side. We'll catch you next time on Who's the Boss.